All right, I'm Jon Markwardt, and I'm in the Parliament House of Estonia, and I'm honored to be here with the former Prime Minister of Estonia, Taavi. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you very much.
As you know, I'm traveling through Europe, and I'm trying to learn specific characteristics of leadership. My first question for you is, what is your favorite leadership characteristic of yourself? And then we're going to find out how that's affected your career.
Modesty, obviously. Well, I try to think that, or I tend to think that perhaps the best leadership quality is to surround yourself with a great team, with people who are often smarter than you, at least in some specific fields. Often leaders are somewhat afraid of too good people to be in their teams, trying to kind of avoid this thing because perhaps somebody is outshining you or something like that. My experience is that the best team you can put together, you should put together, and it is very, very rewarding to work with a great team.
I think that's a really great answer, and I think your country, you're doing a lot with the education system. You've got one of the best education systems in the world, and you guys are really investing in surrounding yourself with smarter and smarter people. I read that you guys now have 7-year-olds coding in the education system. So you're teaching them technology right away, and Wi-Fi is a human right here. I found that fascinating.
Well, it has been for quite some time so that the internet has considered to be something that is, yes, as you said, human right, or something that is, if you don't have it somewhere in Estonia, let's put it this way, even in the forest, you will be very, very sad, or you can't actually orientate there what to do next. It's not always wireless, it might be also 4G, which we have very good coverage, but basically you can use internet wherever you wish. And this has been a deliberate policy. This has been a very clear aim that also the government has helped the telcos build the connections throughout Estonia. Estonia is a little bit bigger than Denmark or Switzerland in terms of territory, but we only have 1.3 million people, so obviously there has to be at least some government support to get this network so fast as we have managed to achieve. Now, about learning coding or understanding ICT, yes, we do have people in the kind of pupils in the very first grades studying that in many schools, but also we have invested to have more ICT students at universities, which is something that our ICT sector and telco sector is wishing for. We constantly have thousands of job vacancies for ICT engineers, for software developers, architects, many those kind of professions, and of course, as it takes some time to get from high school student to become a software engineer, we have also tried to do our best to attract people from other countries. For example, Ukraine, for example, also Finland have been the biggest groups of people who have come to work here with us.
So to go back to what we were talking about at the beginning, one of the characteristics that you've had that's made you successful in leadership is surrounding yourself with people that are smart, and even in some ways smarter than you is kind of the goal. Has that contributed to some of the cutting edge technology that Estonia has, such as voting online, doing your tax returns online? Everything's really online, and I hear you can even do your tax return in about 3 minutes online.
Yeah, but that voting online, actually, when that started, I was one of the advisors for the person deciding that we should have something like that. Then it sounded like a crazy idea. That was Märt Rask, Minister of Justice of Estonia. Later he became the head of the Supreme Court of Estonia. And he had this vision that as we have this digital identity, that was already back in the beginning of this century, as we have the digital identity, we should be able to do anything with that. If you can securely identify yourself over internet, you should be able to not only to sign things, not only to get services, but also vote, which sounded like the most extreme thing to do with digital identity. And then we started with a small task force put together, that was already in 2000 and 2001. and with this small task force, basically draw this scheme on a white sheet of paper. And in 2005 we had the system live and running for the first time, and now in 2015 every third vote was casted online, which is particularly helpful for those Estonians who live somewhere far from Estonian embassies abroad. We're a small country. We can't afford embassies at every village and town of every country, so it's rather logical that if you are on a vacation or if you study in, let's say, north of Finland, it's extremely easy for you to vote. You just need an internet connection and the secure ID, which any Estonian basically has anyways.
Yeah, well, it seems like as a result of surrounding yourself with the right people, a lot of those advancements have occurred, and they've done so very successfully. What's up next for Estonia?
Well, one thing that actually came out of that, I trusted smart people when I was for the first year in the job of Prime Minister or in the government office, was e-residency. That was a crazy idea that some people came up with. One of them was very close in my team, basically right-hand man for ICT things. And they said that if we introduce e-residency, meaning providing the same digital identity to those people who are not Estonians or not Estonian residents, then we can make our country so much bigger, and in many ways, virtually, but also in terms of providing services to foreigners, starting companies here and so forth. And by trusting to those people, I understood that there is this huge potential, and today there is already more than 22,000 e-residents. They have started more than 1,000 companies here in Estonia, and then it's just the first year, so it's basically just getting going, and that's a very good example, in my opinion, that if you trust to those kind of smart people in your team who have a great vision, even if it sounds unrealistic, even if it sounds something, or especially when it sounds like something that nobody has done before, then you might end up with a huge success.
Yeah, it was exciting to read about the e-residents and all the businesses that are now coming to Estonia. It almost seems like the e-residents could at one point go past the Estonian birth rate for the country. Is this a realistic possibility?
Of course, if you have thousands of new people coming every year as e-residents, or they are not virtually coming, really coming, but they're virtually coming. But then, of course, it can exceed by many times. It can exceed the birth rate. We only have, depending on the year, 13, 14, 15,000 people born every year. So if we get, let's say, 20,000 e-residents a year, then it's already more than births. So it's definitely doable. I think this would be just a very low aim. I think we could aim much higher in this respect.
Well, I really appreciate you taking the time with me. I think what we learned today as far as leadership, obviously surround yourself with the best people, and then learning and growth occurs, and learning and growth is definitely occurring in Estonia. I know you have a lot of things going on. In 2 weeks, I believe you're getting married even, so I appreciate you taking the time.
You have very accurate information.
Congratulations on the marriage, and
you.
congratulations on all your success.
Thank you very much.